Majors. Tonight, her plea for help just before dying. The virus cruise escape, the plan underway to rescue hundreds of trapped Americans as dozens more passengers are diagnosed with the coronavirus on that ship, and the first death reported in Europe. Winter storm threat, the new storm set to sweep across the country after millions brace for those brutally cold temperatures. Plus, the state of emergency in the South. The evacuations tonight as rivers are on the rise. Diplomat's daughter charged. Her father was a top cabinet member in the Bush administration. John Negroponte's daughter accused of murder tonight. Police say she stabbed a friend in the neck with a kitchen knife. The baby kidnapping plot. A woman accused of trying to steal the baby she was hired to photograph. The allegation she drugged the mother with a cupcake, while police say she wanted that child. Dangerous decision. An employee at work trying to stop car thieves in the act rammed through a fence, somehow surviving. And Kate's revelation, the rare royal interview. Kate's candid conversation about being a mother and what she feels guilty about.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Tom Yamas. And we begin tonight with the breaking developments in the tragic fatal stabbing of an 18-year-old Barnard College student. Tessa Majors made national headlines in December when she was attacked by a group of teenagers walking through a park in New York City. That crime sending shockwaves across the country. Tonight, a new arrest in the case. A 14-year-old charged with murder and other offenses. He will be tried as an adult. The Manhattan DA saying the evidence paints a gruesome picture and that Tessa Majors' last words were, "Help me, I'm being robbed." ABC's Stephanie Ramos starts us off tonight.
Tonight, police arresting the teen they say is responsible for the brutal murder of Barnard College student Tessa Majors. The NYPD announcing 14-year-old Rayshawn Weaver is being charged as an adult in her fatal stabbing.
We are confident that we have the person in custody who stabbed her.
Authorities say blood evidence, smartphone evidence, and the defendant's own statements paint a gruesome picture. Police describing her harrowing final moments.
Some of the last words she was known to have said was, "Help me, I'm being robbed."
According to the criminal complaint, video surveillance shows Majors entering Morningside Park just before 7 that evening. Weaver and 2 other teens allegedly enter around the same time from a different location, eventually confronting Majors. Police say Majors tried to fight back, leaving one of her attackers with bite marks.
It was a painstaking, deliberate, and meticulous search for the truth.
Weaver was wanted for questioning in the weeks after the killing, but ran away as he was being taken in for questioning. Eventually, he submitted to a police interview and DNA testing. Weaver is facing 2 counts of murder in the second degree. A 13-year-old alleged accomplice who's been in custody for 2 months faces a felony murder charge. The case gripping that New York City neighborhood with fear. Tonight, the district attorney vowing to honor Tessa, an 18-year-old freshman aspiring journalist and musician with true justice.
Stephanie joins us now from the neighborhood where the murder took place. And Stephanie, if found guilty, how much time could Weaver face?
Well, Tom, Weaver has still needs to file a plea, but if convicted, he faces 25 years to life in prison. Police say he was arrested while at home with his family last night, and he did not resist arrest. Tom.
Stephanie Ramos with that update tonight for us. Stephanie, thank you. Next to Japan and the growing desperation on board a cruise ship where coronavirus cases are growing. Dozens of new cases confirmed today, and now word that hundreds of American passengers trapped on board are about to be rescued. The U.S. government set to airlift passengers directly from that ship right into another round of quarantine here at home. This is the first fatality from that sickness is confirmed in Europe. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest from Japan.
Tonight, the race to escape this quarantine cruise ship is on. A plane to take the nearly 400 Americans back to the U.S. is landing today. But many are concerned that they'll have to spend an additional 14 days in quarantine on a U.S. military base.
Tensions are running pretty high. After the announcement was made,
Princess Cruises confirming 67 new cases of the new coronavirus on board, including 5 Americans, bringing the total infections on the ship to at least 285. The CDC says American passengers will have to go through additional screening before they can come to the U.S.
The fact that more and more positive tests keep coming has made us lose a little bit of faith in this quarantine process.
There's believed to be an estimated 67,000 cases worldwide, and at least 1,523 people have died, mostly in mainland China. In France, the first person outside of Asia has died. Officials saying an 80-year-old Chinese tourist had been in isolation since late January. The CDC says the risk to Americans is still low. The U.S. announcing it will now be testing for COVID-19 in 5 major cities in cases where flu tests were negative: in Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York.
This is part of the multi-layered public health approach so that we have an early warning system in the event that the virus is spreading.
Health officials in Hawaii are on high alert after a Japanese man tested positive for the virus after spending nearly a week on the island of Oahu. And tonight, we're getting a look inside this 3M factory in South Dakota, working around the clock making face masks and respirators to combat the global shortages of supplies. Passengers say they were told to get ready to leave as soon as tonight, but they tell us they still don't know exactly how this evacuation is even going to work. And Tom, it seems like day after day, the mood on this boat is filled with more fear and frustration. Tom?
Maggie Rulli reporting from Yokohama, Japan tonight for us. Maggie, thank you. Now to the new round of brutal winter weather sweeping across the country as millions begin to recover from bitterly cold temperatures. Those ice balls you see, they're gathering on the shores of frigid Lake Michigan. Plus evacuations in Mississippi tonight. Look at that as rivers rise from relentless rounds of heavy rains in the south. The governor there issuing a state of emergency. Meteorologist Jeff Smith from our New York station, WABC, joins us now with the forecast. Jeff, good evening.
Good evening, Tom. The good news is an Arctic air mass is a dry air mass, and that means relief for those areas that had the river flooding in the south. We're going to be watching a big rebound in temperatures during the next 24 hours. By this time tomorrow, temperatures 15 to 20 degrees warmer over the Midwest and the Northeast. And a new storm moving on the West Coast right now will spread mountain snow from the Cascades to the Rockies. It moves into the Midwest on Monday. Rain in Chicago, snow to the north. I-95 corridor on Tuesday, bringing rain right here to New York City. Tom?
Jeff Smith from our powerhouse station, WABC tonight. Jeff, thank you. Next to politics in the race for 2020. Early voting now underway in Nevada, a key caucus state that is next up. The Democratic candidates zeroing in on that Western contest and gearing up for yet another debate. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott.
Tonight, the Democratic race for president swings west. Candidates flooding the state of Nevada with the caucuses here just 1 week away.
Senator Bernie Sanders bringing his supporters straight to the polls, leading a march as early voting gets underway.
Senator Bernie Sanders riding a wave of enthusiasm after his New Hampshire victory, brushing off criticism from some union leaders who are slamming his Medicare for All proposal.
Senator, any concern about possibly losing union votes?
Well, were you just watching this?
Yes, I was, Senator.
Okay, I've never been to... We have about 700 people marching at the vote. We're feeling absolutely great.
Former Vice President Joe Biden, hoping for a boost, says he has a shot at placing top 2 in Nevada.
99% of the African-American vote hasn't spoken yet, and 99% of the Latino vote hasn't spoken yet.
Nevada is the first test to see which candidates can appeal to minority voters.
Why should they give your campaign a chance?
Well, I need to get to know them because my name ID wasn't very high, my bank account not as big.
Though he is skipping the state, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg is closing in on the debate stage here. As his profile in this race grows, so does the scrutiny around his past.
Just this week, Bloomberg taking heat for his previous comments on racial discrimination in lending, a practice known as redlining and stop and frisk.
I should have acted sooner, and I should have stopped it, and I didn't, and I apologize for that.
The Washington Post reporting on allegations of sexism at his company that have dogged Bloomberg for years, as reported recently by ABC News. His spokesperson responding, saying Mike simply does not tolerate any kind of discrimination or harassment. And the Drudge Report claiming Bloomberg is considering announcing 2016 Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton as a running mate. His campaign telling ABC News tonight, "We are focused on the primary and the debate, not VP speculations."
Voters are already in line as early voting kicks off. The Nevada Democratic Party has revamped its strategy after the chaos during the Iowa caucuses, scrapping its plans to use an app and instead using a new tool to better calculate the results. Tom?
That caucus just 1 week away. All right, Rachel, thank you. Next to the latest in the apparent growing tensions between President Trump and the Attorney General. Bill Barr appearing to make a rare break with the president he has fiercely defended when he told ABC News this week the president's tweets make it impossible for him to do his job. And now new tweets from the president about the Justice Department. ABC's Kira Phillips reports from West Palm Beach.
It was a rare and bold move. In an exclusive interview with ABC, Attorney General Bill Barr declaring the president's tweets make it impossible for him to do his job.
It's time to stop the tweeting about Department of Justice criminal cases.
Then the president today, in true Trump fashion, doubling down, firing off yet another tweet about another DOJ case involving one of his favorite targets, former acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe. After federal prosecutors formally closed its 2-year investigation into McCabe, declining to bring charges, the president writing McCabe misled investigators over role in news media disclosure. Yesterday, McCabe lashed out at the Justice Department for the investigation.
It is an absolute disgrace that they took 2 years and put my family through this experience for 2 years before they finally drew the obvious conclusion, and one they could have drawn a long time ago.
Barr's blunt interview was a stunning show of dissent from the president's inner circle, but that wasn't enough to stop the tweeting. President Trump claiming, though he's never directly intervened in a case, this doesn't mean that I do not have, as president, the legal right to do so. I do, but I have so far chosen not to.
Tom, it seems that President Trump feels emboldened since his acquittal, proving no matter who it is, that even with a warning from a White House ally, he is going to tweet and speak his mind. Tom?
Kira, thank you. Now to the daughter of a former cabinet official facing criminal charges tonight. John Negroponte was appointed the first director of national intelligence by President George W. Bush back in 2005, and he held a number of diplomatic positions. Now, his 27-year-old daughter is accused of murder. Here's ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi.
Tonight, chilling new details emerging in the murder of a Maryland man police say was stabbed to death by the daughter of a high-ranking American diplomat.
Priority for a stabbing.
According to documents obtained by the Washington Post, the situation unfolded Thursday night inside this home in the D.C. suburb of Rockville. That's where police say 27-year-old Sofia Negroponte and Yusuf Rasmussen got into a dispute while watching TV with another friend. That friend telling police he saw Negroponte grab a knife from the kitchen and lunge at Rasmussen.
Their friends got into a physical fight. One subject pulled out a knife and cut another subject's throat.
But tonight, Negroponte's family telling ABC News she acted in self-defense. Negroponte is one of 5 children former UN Ambassador John Negroponte and his wife adopted during his post in Honduras. The career diplomat also served as the nation's first intelligence director in 2005, appointed by President George W. Bush.
And Negroponte's family says they love their daughter deeply and they're standing behind her. The 27-year-old is facing a first-degree murder charge. Tom?
All right, Mona, thank you. Next to the mother who was confused and outraged in North Carolina, trying to get her son help at a hospital emergency room during what she called his, quote, mental health crisis, the violent confrontation erupting with security officers and police, all caught on camera. Here's ABC's Janae Norman.
The violent moment caught on camera, a security guard slamming a 16-year-old to the ground after his mother says she took him to the hospital to get help for a mental health crisis. Now, because of how the teen reacted, he's the one facing charges.
He was treated like a criminal. Nobody ever treated him like a patient.
Security footage obtained by the family's attorney shows 16-year-old Hayden Long in front of the hospital, his mom motioning for help from security as her son shoves her. Then things escalate. The security guard pushing the teen down twice before drawing a stun gun. You see the teen walk over to the car, and then another security guard tackles him.
I was still thinking, these men will help. Their goal will be to help me help my son, and They didn't do that.
Lincoln County deputies arrive and say the teen spit blood in a deputy's face, which is a felony. Video shows one deputy punch the handcuffed teen twice in the head until another deputy stops him and tackles him to the ground. Atrium Health officials say their security guards were trying to de-escalate the situation, but that the teen was making dangerous threats.
We feel really badly that this young man was